All right, sobering topic right here, the rise of terrorism. Now, terrorism is defined as the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. So this is whenever an individual is using violence and intimidation as a way of gaining a certain political goal. It is usually against civilians. It does not have to be against civilians. That is important to understand. It is all about fear, though. If you look at terrorism, the root word is terror. This is using terror and fear to gain a certain political goal. Now, it is also important to look at the definition between a terrorist and a freedom fighter. And this visual right here kind of does a good job in explaining what this is. Okay, a terrorist and a freedom fighter. A terrorist takes hostages. A freedom fighter takes political prisoners. A terrorist is supported by national fanatics, and a freedom fighter is supported by patriotic citizens. Now, the reason I want you to show this is it really comes down to one's point of view on what is going on, and whether or not that person is a terrorist or that person is a freedom fighter. I'll give some more examples of this as we go through with the situation a little bit later on, but do understand there is a little bit of a gray area between what makes someone a terrorist versus what makes someone a freedom fighter. Now, terrorism is going to begin with the assassins in the 11th century. This is going to be happening in Persia, a group of individuals who go and take out political leaders and really strike fear into a lot of people in Persia at this time. Now, there's going to be four waves of terrorism, according to David Radapor, and then we're going to talk about these different waves. Actually, going to be talking about 5 waves, I believe 4. We're going to be talking about these waves as we go through right through here: the anarchist, the ethno-nationalist or the anti-colonial, the new left, and then the religious terrorist going right through here. First one we're going to talk about is the anarchist, and this is going to be happening in the 1800s. They're going to emerge in Russia and quickly spread throughout the world, and this is going to be known as the golden age of assassination. There's going to be a number of government leaders dying at the hands of admitted anarchists at this time period. Okay, so we're going to look at like Archduke Franz Ferdinand in 1914 in Sarajevo, okay, which started World War I. That was an anarchist who would have been the one assassinating him. Looking at the assassination of President McKinley in the United States, this is a golden age of assassination. Taking out these leaders because you don't like where they're going, you want them gone, so you go and you simply kill them. This is predominantly using bullets and bombs. You're going to assassinate someone with a bullet, or you're going to blow them up with a bomb. International communication technology is going to allow for this to spread. This is right when we're going to be getting telegraphs and easier communication, the telephone as well, making it a lot easier to send messages and communicate with one another. So you can be saying, we're going to be doing this in one place, you're going to do it here, you're going to do it here. Communication allows for this to work much more effectively, and there was much better communication at this time, which allowed for this to really rise. Additionally, you can see something happening and being successful in one country. If you have a similar situation going on in your country, you're going to be more inclined to want to do that. The Russians are going to be training anarchists in other countries as well. As I said before, it started in Russia. They're going to be training them, and it's going to be moving out into different places. Second is the anti-colonial. This is going to be happening in the late 19-teens and the 1920s, and done by those who believed that political independence was within reach. They are tired of being colonial. They are tired of having someone else rule over them, and they want to be independent. This really comes in a large part as a result of World War I and the end of World War I as a result of decolonization. Okay, so after World War I, we're going to know how a lot of countries that were colonial are going to kind of start backing off of this, and this is going to lead to people believing that they have the ability to really rule themselves, they can take over, and that independence was within reach. It's going to slow down during World War II because, quite frankly, there were bigger fish to fry. But after World War II, it's going to take off once again. Like we look at Vietnam after World War II, Indochina. An example is the Irish Brotherhood and the Irish Volunteers fighting for independence from Britain in Ireland in 1916 with the Easter Rising, and then leading up into the Irish Civil War. These were individuals forming in the Irish Republican Army that, quite frankly, we're using violence and fear as a way of fighting against the British. Again, whether or not you believe they were terrorists or you believe they were freedom fighters really depends on what side of the spectrum you're on. Are you in favor of Irish republicanism, or are you in favor of the British Crown? In this example, same within Vietnam, First Indochina War after World War II. Are you in favor of the Vietnamese, or are you in favor of the French? Now, the third one we're going to talk about is New Left Wave in the 1960s. This is going to come about as a response to the Vietnam War. Vietnam, once again. Anti-Americanism is going to become popular. People are looking at the United States and seeing what's going on in Vietnam. They're thinking the United States is warmongers and that they're a threat to world peace. The USSR, who is the big rival of the United States, is going to go about and spread this message because it's going to be politically expedient to them. We're going to see a lot of aircraft hijackings, as you can see in the picture right through here. Technology, again, makes it a lot easier. The focus is good television. Okay, good press helps you spread your message. So you're going to hijack a plane, you're going to land it, you're going to have hostages on that plane, and maybe you're going to execute one by one, but you're going to make sure the TV cameras are there so that people understand exactly what you're trying to get out and that your political agenda can be reached. As I stated, there was a lot of hijackings going on and kidnappings as well. This is done for a number of reasons. Number one is because if they're high profile, which you're a good hijacker, you're going to make it high profile. If you're a good kidnapper, you're going to make it high profile. It's going to allow you to spread your message, which makes you get your political objective a lot easier because you can't really get a goal in politics without spreading the message. And number two, it allows you to raise money. For example, if you hijack a plane, you'll say, hey, we'll give you the passengers back, but you better pay us this amount of money. It's going to be a hijacking. Same with kidnapping right through there. The last one to talk about is religious terrorism, and this is the one that is currently going on. I was going to start with the global impact of the Iranian Revolution in 1979. One of the goals of that revolution was to spread that revolution across the globe, and it was going to lead into the hostage situation at the Grand Mosque in Mecca. Right after this, when an individual went in, opened gunfire at the Grand Mosque, holding individuals hostage inside of the Grand Mosque. The Soviet invasion of Afghanistan is going to make this much larger. The number of individuals go there to fight for religious freedom from the Afghanis, because they do not want the atheist Soviet Union coming in there and causing problems. And it's going to be probably the most prominent example of religious terrorism would be the September 11th attacks. Now, it's also important to understand that with religious terrorism, just because someone's stating they're doing something in the name of a specific religion does not mean they're actually following the beliefs of that specific religion. All major religions on the planet have a sect or a group of individuals within it that are going to be using terroristic ideologies and terroristic ideals. That does not mean that religion supports those beliefs. So it is important to understand that when we talk about religious terrorism. Just because someone's doing something in the name of a certain religion does not mean that religion supports it and does not mean they're truly following what that religion states. So do make sure you are clear on that one. Do not be saying anything like this religion promotes violence, because simply put, that is not true. If you have any questions, comments, put it down below. Otherwise, see you later. Good luck.